blowing my nose. I'm stepping off real quick. 2 seconds.
Coming up next, controversy on campus as two YouTubers visit Penn State, sparking protest.
I'm here to tell Penn State that this is simply unacceptable.
Plus, how changing school start times can help student health.
It's very hard to whenever you have to wake up early to practice or stay up late because you're studying.
And new help for the visually impaired thanks to artificial intelligence and Penn State researchers. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon. I'm Tom Johnston.
And I'm Katie Park. Thanks for joining us. Investigators are still waiting for toxicology results as they look into the death of a teenager at a State College house. It happened here on West College Avenue. Police say they responded to a medical emergency last weekend and found the 17-year-old victim, John Schoenig, who was not a Penn State student. Efforts to save him failed, and they pronounced the teenager dead at the scene. An autopsy is finished, but they haven't released a cause of death. The house was reportedly occupied by Chi Phi fraternity members. Penn State has suspended the fraternity while the investigation continues.
State College police are asking the public for help to identify people involved in a fight downtown. They just released photos from what they say is a fight outside the Lion's Den last Saturday around 1:30 a.m. No other details have been released. They're asking anyone with information on the incident to contact police.
A year-long investigation by two news organizations claims loose campaign finance rules allow Pennsylvania state lawmakers to hide spending on food, booze, and travel. The report from Spotlight PA and Caucus News say the review found spending on foreign trips, sporting tickets, limos, and country club memberships. State campaign laws put no limits on donations and no strict ban on using money for personal expenses.
A visit by two politically controversial YouTubers drew a big audience and also protesters to Penn State this week. Reporter Brian McLaughlin has the story.
Controversial YouTubers Sargon of Akkad and Hunter Avallone spoke on Penn State's campus this week about internet censorship. The event, sponsored by the conservative group Turning Point USA, also drew protesters. Here ahead of the event, a large group of students has gathered protesting the ability of these two speakers to share their very controversial views at Penn State.
I'm here to tell Penn State that this is simply unacceptable. I am here to tell Turning Point USA that what they are saying and the people they are bringing in is simply unacceptable.
Akkad, whose real name is Carl Benjamin, and Avallone are known for their conservative views. Madison McCormick and other protesters say they understand free speech, but they believe the YouTubers crossed a line with previous statements.
It's one thing to have different political views, and I encourage that open communication and conversation. Like, let's go head to head in some sort of debate, but having racist and fascist and anti-Semitic views is just simply not okay.
During Wednesday's event, the speakers answered questions and gave advice to the audience on how to deal with those who they claim want to limit free speech.
One thing that I value very highly is freedom of speech. And I just want to learn about it from both sides.
Benjamin said during the event, he believes if censoring people online continues, it will change everything about how people communicate in the future. Madison McCormick says you can say what you believe while still accepting others' views.
I am so proud to be here to fight for my freedom of speech, to be able to promote inclusivity and create a more sustainable world.
In University Park, I'm Brian McLaughlin for the Center County Report.
President Trump recently expressed his support for Turning Point in a tweet, saying the organization is recording record numbers at campuses across the country. Penn State released a statement ahead of the event denouncing both speakers.
This Sunday marks the one-year anniversary since the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh. Police say Robert Bowers opened fire on a morning service, killing 11 people. The synagogue has not yet reopened, but there are plans to renovate and reopen it. To mark the anniversary, the Pittsburgh Jewish community will hold a public memorial service on Sunday at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum in Oakland.
A new state report says later school start times can improve health and learning outcomes for students. Research from Penn State was a key part of the report. Elisa Vasquez takes a closer look.
Taylor Balboni is a senior and captain of the cheerleading team at State College High School. She's one of millions of teenagers who say they simply don't get enough sleep.
And you're trying to work on getting sleep, but it's very hard to whenever you have to wake up early to practice or stay up late because you're studying.
Experts say only 1 in 10 teenagers get the 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night recommended by sleep scientists and pediatricians. Orfeo Buxton, professor of biobehavioral health at Penn State, says that this lack of sleep can have serious effects on mental and physical health.
Being sleep deprived makes it harder to remember things, to have good brain function, and to learn and perform academically.
Taylor says pushing the school start time back from 8:10 to 8:40, as State High did a year ago, has improved her performance inside and outside of the classroom.
You wake up and you're not trying to catch up on sleep because it's not 6 a.m. I think that in the classroom it's really been beneficial. I think that it's also been really beneficial in athletics.
The State College Area School District is one of 2% of schools in Pennsylvania to have the start time after 8:30 a.m., and many believe that other schools will begin to follow in their path.
I think it's a growing trend in school districts. California just became the first state to make it mandatory. I think it's the wave of the future because it makes sense.
In State College, I'm Elisa Vasquez for the Center County Report.
The state report on start time also recommends no early sports practices or other school-related activities before the official start time.
Speaking of sports, USA Today is out with its annual list of college football coaching salaries, and where Penn State's coach ranks might surprise you. James Franklin is not in the top 10. He's actually the 11th highest paid on the list for 2019. USA Today's data says Franklin makes around $5.6 million before bonuses. The highest paid coach on the list is Dabo Swinney from Clemson at more than $9 million. Other names in the top 10 include Alabama's Nick Saban and Michigan's Jim Harbaugh.
Penn State researchers are getting national funding to investigate a new kind of help for visually impaired people using artificial intelligence. Carlos Flores has more on the story.
Advancements in artificial intelligence and high tech have led to mind-blowing inventions, from self-driving cars to a hotel run by robots. Now computers could play a major role in helping visually impaired people. Professor John Carroll of Penn State's College of Information Sciences and Technology has created a team to help lead this research. They've received a $700,000 grant from the National Institute of Health. The idea involves having the visually impaired person using their smartphone or a camera attached to their glasses. From there, a human assistant is giving direction remotely to the subject. But Carroll says even that can improve.
Perhaps computer vision could play a role in this particular prosthetic by recognizing some of the objects in the camera video signal so that the remote human assistant wouldn't have to describe everything.
Soo-Yeon Lee, a member of the team and a PhD student, is working on a piece of hardware that will take some of the burden away from the human assistant. The technology is attached to the subject's wrist and has 4 motors attached, the yellow representing up and down and the red for left and right. She focused on her testing in grocery stores.
In grocery shopping problem space. So we wanted to help people with visual impairment for them to be able to do grocery shopping independently. We wanted to help for them to be able to reach out to the product, to the shop, and grab out the product from the shop.
Even with promise in early testing, Carol understands there will need to be a human element involved. The team is expected to test both young and old people to see what works better with each group. In University Park, I'm Carlos Flores for the Center County Report.
Carroll is hopeful to see results in the next 3 years.
Coming up, why tomorrow's football game at Beaver Stadium will be much different than any other.
Plus, the changing face of downtown State College. Learn about a huge sale that just happened. Also coming up, meet a local volunteer who's been helping animals find loving homes for almost 4 decades. Her inspiring story is after the break. But first, here's Matt with weather.
Fall foliage is at its peak this week, and we have rain returning for your weekend forecast. I'll time it out for you coming up.
So I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket. and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
5 apartment properties in downtown State College have been sold for more than $100 million. According to statecollege.com, A.W. Sons Enterprise sold Alexander Court, Beaver Hill, Cedarbrook, and Gardner Court, while the Diplomat was sold by Helix Enterprises. They were all sold to Core State College Beaver, which has the same address as Core Spaces, a company based in Chicago that specializes in managing real estate college properties in college markets. The plan is expected to include renovating the apartments. Also downtown, the Hotel State College and its associate businesses are believed to be in the final stages of being bought, about 6 months after going up for sale.
A special volunteer at State College's no-kill animal shelter is marking 35 years of helping animals there. The shelter itself has only been around 5 years longer than that. Reporter Fiona Dagger is live at Paws to tell us more. Fiona?
That's right, guys. It's Friday. I'm hanging out with puppies. What could be better? I'm here with Hannah, and we're at the Center County Paws Animal Shelter. It's been around for 40 years. And today I'm taking a closer look at a volunteer who's been helping out with Paws for a very long time. Take a look.
Every dog has its day. And for Liz Strickler, every day has a dog, or quite a few. Liz is an adoption counselor at the Center County Paws Animal Shelter, and she's always had a passion for pets.
Since 1985, I've been volunteering here.
And the best part, she does it all out of the kindness of her heart.
This is how I give back to the world, to the community.
You're welcome. I'm very happy.
For 35 years, Liz has been matching up pets with better homes. Pets just like Charlie.
We've been meaning to adopt a dog for a long time.
Liz has been so great answering all our questions, and through the adoption, any questions I had, I was able to call her multiple times.
When I asked Liz why she does it, the answer was very simple.
The unconditional love and the happiness. Dogs here get a tremendous amount of individual care.
Not only the dogs, but the owners too.
I think I've been a part of. It's the joy on people's faces when they, like the new couple that just got to go home with a brand new family member.
Paws is a no-kill shelter located behind the Nittany Mall in State College. The nonprofit facility has been helping dogs and cats find forever homes since 1980.
That's right. I can see why Liz loves her job so much. And again, this is Hannah. She is so sweet. Just look at her. And she still needs a home. So if you're interested in making her a part of your family, go check out Paws' website at centercountypaws.org. Back to you guys.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Matt Yarasovic. Taking a live look right now over Penn State's campus in Altoona. We see that color on the trees is very high, especially there in the mountains, but we are under some clouds at this hour, and they will continue through the weekend. We'll have some rain in our weekend forecast. I'll time that out for you coming up in just a minute. But first, our fall foliage report across the state. We're past peak in the northern tier, but the southern 2/3 here in the red shaded area, that is where we're nearing or at the peak. So it will be a good time to get out there and enjoy those fall colors before they fade away as we head into November. Temperatures across the state right now, 52 in State College, 53 down in Johnstown, and really in the low to mid 50s across much of the state. And our friends in Philadelphia at 62 at this hour. We'll get into the mid 60s by the middle of the day. Looking at radar and satellite, not much on it, just some clouds, except for some showers, some light showers here in our northern tier. Those who have kind of moved across through the morning hours, and the light rain has moved up into southern parts of New York. Our rainmaker for this weekend, though, is actually centered down here just north of Dallas. That's where that storm is spinning, and it's bringing in a conveyor belt of this tropical moisture, and that will create our rain for this weekend. So let's time that out for you right now and see just how wet your weekend will be. By Saturday around 2:30, we're starting to see those showers move in to southwestern parts of the state. Then as our warm front lifts north through the afternoon hours, we can see those showers starting to come in to parts of central PA and some heavier rain up toward Erie. And as we advance it a little farther, looking at 7:30 in the morning here on Sunday, some heavier pockets of rain there in central parts of the state, and then maybe even some heavy rain going into the later in the afternoon before that storm really moves out on Sunday. 60 degrees today, though, mostly cloudy skies, that calm wind. Overnight tonight, 41 degrees will be your low temp. We'll see that patchy fog develop in the early morning hours. And then tomorrow, a high of 54 degrees, overcast with those isolated showers moving in. I'll look at our 7-day forecast. Some rain there on Sunday, a high of 64, though. But then a beautiful beginning to our work week. Monday and Tuesday looking relatively nice, but then the chance for some rain comes back for the second half of our week and our Halloween.
If you're thinking of heading to the state high football game Saturday afternoon, it's probably a good idea to wear a jacket.
Yes, it's a good idea to wear a jacket. We'll see some scattered showers throughout the afternoon.
Courtney Gyrie is next with sports.
Coming up, we'll take a look at how the State College Little Lions football team is preparing to play a game in Beaver Stadium tomorrow, an opportunity most players have been dreaming of for years.
And I'm here at practice where head coach James Franklin and Penn State are getting ready for a tough road test against the Michigan State Spartans. That's up next in sports.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Peter. There's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
So I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, you talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Courtney Guiley with sports. Penn State football heads to East Lansing tomorrow with an unbeaten record as they take on Michigan State. Reporter Zach Kaplan stopped by practice to see how the Lions are handling a potential big-time trap game.
On the heels of back-to-back wins over ranked teams and praise from analysts around the country, the 6th-ranked Nittany Lions are looking for their first win in East Lansing since 2009. The last 2 seasons have seen a top 10 Penn State team get knocked off by the Spartans in the final seconds, something cornerback John Reed knows his team has to avoid.
Kind of something we've seen that we rewatch all the games and we're like, we're the ones that are on the field. We just know that we need to finish it out. That's kind of our mentality, being humble and hungry and then finishing out the game. That's kind of the plan every week.
Head coach James Franklin tried to improve his record against the Spartans as he only has 1 win against head coach Mark D'Antonio in his Penn State tenure.
I know as coaches, we looked at this in the offseason and said, enough's enough. We better find a way to get this thing done. But they're a good program, and have been for a long time.
Both teams head into the contest having played ranked opponents each of the last 2 games, and both teams are characterized by their defense, something Franklin addressed at his weekly press conference.
Defensively, between Coach Tressel and Coach D'Antonio, one of the better defenses in the country. I can speak for the 6 years that we've been here, very consistent in terms of how they play defense at Michigan State and do it at a very, very high level.
In University Park, I'm Zach Kaplan for the Center County Report.
Kickoff tomorrow is at 3:30, and you can listen to the game live on Penn State's Com Radio. The Nittany Lions are away from home tomorrow, but football will still be played in Beaver Stadium. A high school game is set for Penn State's home field. Reporter Dylan Huberman is live at Beaver Stadium with more on the unique game. Dylan?
Thanks, Courtney. We are live here outside of Gate A after weeks of hype leading up to the game between the State College Little Lions and the Cumberland Valley Eagles, which has been dubbed the Beaver Stadium Classic. The State College Little Lions can realize a lifelong dream of playing in Beaver Stadium tomorrow.
One of State High's practices this week wasn't what you'd expect. In fact, it was silent. When rain forced the team inside, they held the unique quiet practice because head coach Matt Lentell says it helps each player lock in more effectively.
Really it meant to get our kids to focus, do their job, eliminate distractions, and really be present to what's going on at that very moment.
And Saturday presents a big moment for the Little Lions, playing in Penn State's Beaver Stadium in the regular season finale against Cumberland Valley. For players like defensive captain Kevin Kurzinger, the past also plays a big role in this game.
My grandfather actually played at Penn State. He was a 1957 grad, and he played 4 years. He played defensive end, surprisingly, like me.
Kurzinger has an opportunity to play on the same field his grandfather played on more than 50 years ago in what's being called the Beaver Stadium Classic. Defensive lineman Joe Nastasi will also follow in a relative's footsteps. His father played for the Nittany Lions more than 20 years ago.
It's like a little bit of like a taste of what my dad got whenever he played in college back in the 90s as a Penn State receiver. And I think it'd be really cool, fun to see what he went through then.
Kickoff is set for noon tomorrow. Tickets can be purchased right here outside of the stadium, and general parking is available for $10. It's getting cold out here, guys. Stay warm. Back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. Basketball season is almost here with Penn State's season opener on November 5th. In the lead-up, Coach Pat Chambers and team had a secret closed scrimmage against West Virginia this past weekend. Senior forward Lamar Stevens has always been a scoring threat inside the three-point line, but after putting in some extra work in the offseason, he showed improvement behind the arc, going 4 for 6 against West Virginia. Chambers doesn't want Stevens to fall in love with the three, but thinks it could definitely add to the team's success. During this week's press conference, he also highlighted the team's depth as a major strength and said it's actually the defense that needs work.
Our defense has to get tighter. It's got to get tougher. It's got to get more physical. We have to rebound the ball much better. And we just have to play harder. We have to play harder.
Penn State hosts Delaware in an exhibition game this weekend for a charity, benefiting the Hoops for Disaster Relief charity. Tip-off is Sunday at noon. Penn State men's soccer is back in action tonight after dealing with some tough weather conditions during their game earlier this week. The Nittany Lions went up against the James Madison Dukes on Tuesday, but the game ended in a 1-1 draw because of heavy fog. They stopped playing in the 71st minute right before the half. Penn State defender Dax Hoffman set up Aaron Malloy for the equalizer. The 19th-ranked Nittany Lions move on to the matchup with Appalachian State tonight, home at 7 o'clock. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Courtney. Coming up next, the founder of a legendary music group is coming to Penn State's campus, but not for a concert. It's a much more serious reason. That story is next.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
A founding member of the legendary hip-hop music group Run DMC will speak at Penn State next week about mental health, addiction, and recovery. Daryl McDaniels is a rapper and author and helped found the group, which is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He'll speak next Tuesday at 5 p.m. in the Thomas Building at University Park. It's free and open to the public.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can also follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP. And on our Facebook page, we also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us for our next newscast on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.